You know, in classic literature, some characters feel so simple, right? You've got your hero, your villain, your temptress. But today, we're going to unpack a character who looks like a simple villain, but is hiding this entire universe of complexity just underneath the surface. Let's dive into the fascinating soul of Grushenka. So, when we first meet Grushenka, she fits perfectly into this box, the femme fatale. I mean, you know the type. She's alluring, she's dangerous, and she seems to be the source of all the chaos and drama around her. She's that classic archetype that we think we've got figured out the second she walks onto the page. But here's where things get really interesting. What if that's all just a front? What if the character who seems totally designed to destroy everyone is actually on a path to salvation? This is the big question we're going to explore today. Okay, so to really get her transformation, we have to start at the beginning. In the story, she's literally branded the Infernal Woman. She's seen as this force of pure, disruptive chaos who just throws everyone's lives into a complete tailspin. And boy, does she earn that title, right? Her actions are so deliberately provocative. She masterfully pits a father against his own son in this destructive love triangle. She's constantly testing the men around her. You can see she's desperately seeking power and control in a world that's left her with almost none. She seems totally capricious, totally seductive. On the surface, she's a textbook antagonist. But here's the thing. That seductive mask, it's not her real face. It's a defense mechanism. It's this hard shell that was forged in the fire of some really deep personal pain. So we've got to look at what's behind that mask. And this is the root of it all. See, when she was younger, Grushenka was betrayed and just abandoned by a Polish officer. That trauma left her feeling completely powerless, completely wronged. So all that cruel, manipulative behavior we see, it's not born from malice. It comes from this fierce, desperate need to make sure she is never, ever hurt like that again. This comparison just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? It shows the two sides of Grushenka. The outside, the shell, that's the capricious, seductive, power-seeking woman. But that's just her armor. Her core, her true inner self, is something else entirely. She's a wrong soul, fiercely self-protecting, and hidden deep down, she's actually incredibly compassionate. So, how does that hidden compassion finally track through that hard shell? Well, it happens in one of the most beautiful and symbolic moments in the whole novel, and it all revolves around a single little onion. This, right here, is the turning point for her entire character. The scene itself is so simple, but wow, is it powerful. There's this saintly character, Alyosha, and he's having a total crisis of faith. I mean, he is at his absolute lowest point, feeling lost and abandoned. And who comes to him? Grushenka, the sinner. But instead of taking advantage of his pain, she sees it, and she offers him a moment of just genuine, simple kindness. Now, this whole moment is a reference to a story about a wicked woman who gets a chance to be pulled from hell by a single little onion, the one good deed she ever did. So let's break this down. Alyosha is the despairing soul. Grushenka, the fallen one, recognizes his brokenness because, well, she's broken too. Her act of mercy is that symbolic little onion. And here is the absolute key. By saving him in that moment, she opens the door to saving herself. And that one little act of kindness, it's like a key in a lock. It unlocks a complete transformation. She's not just trying to protect herself anymore. She is now capable of a really deep, sacrificial love. Her road to redemption has truly begun. Her bond with Dmitri, the man she once tormented, becomes the heart of this change. Their love makes no logical sense. It's not about status or convenience. It is a profound connection built on what the book calls shared brokenness. It's this mutual understanding of each other's flaws, of each other's suffering. They see the broken pieces in each other, and they love each other anyway, maybe even because of them. You can really map out her whole character arc, her whole life, like this. It starts in her youth with that terrible betrayal. That leads her to become the seductress in Act 1. Then comes Act 2, that pivotal act of mercy, the little onion moment, which paves the way for Act 3, her final transformation into a woman of sacrificial love. And the ultimate proof of this change, the moment it's all sealed, is her final decision. When Dmitri is wrongly convicted and sentenced to a brutal labor camp in Siberia, she chooses to go with him. Think about that. She gives up her money, her comfort, her freedom, everything. She completes that journey from a kept woman who uses men to a woman defined by selfless, sacrificial love. It's incredible.
But Grushenka's story is so much bigger than just one woman's journey. She actually becomes this powerful symbol for something much larger, something the author saw as the very soul of his nation. Her character really embodies this concept of the Russian soul. Just like her, it's often seen as earthy, erratic, and pretty volatile on the surface. But underneath all that chaos, there is this profound, almost bottomless capacity for compassion and spiritual depth. She's a mess of contradictions, and in that, she's a mirror. So, what's the big takeaway here? Grushenka is the ultimate symbol of hope. Her journey tells us that nobody is beyond saving. It doesn't matter how lost or fallen someone might seem, redemption is always on the table. And sometimes, all it takes is the ability to offer one small, genuine act of kindness, one little onion, to another person who's suffering. And that really leaves us with one last thought. This isn't just a story about some character in an old book, is it? It's a challenge to every one of us. It asks us to look past the masks that people wear, to look past the fronts they put up, and just consider, who in our own world right now is waiting for that one small, transformative act of mercy?